This is Rap the News. And this is one of those videos I don't like doing. And so when you come in between people, they hate you. And that's been happening to me pretty much my life. You know, like if you come in and say what's right, they will turn on you. You know, especially if they have a problem that they don't want to stop. Then all of a sudden they're going to find fault with you. All of a sudden you're not so swell and you're not so right and this and that and that, and they start looking at you with eyes of enemies. I'm going to say something, Israel. You're not getting into the kingdom until you make it good with your brother. I have put out that video already and tell you that you're not going to be in God's kingdom arguing and fighting and debating with each other. God said in that day we all going to see eye to eye. If you're not seeing eye to eye and we are just an inch away from the day, maybe because you ain't going. So I watched a video about Deshaun, and I saw Deshaun's version of the video, and then I watched a video about Mr. The News. And my first mind is, I'm not getting in that mess. I'm not going to get into it. But my spirit will not let me do that. Because basically, I believe both people are wrong. Both people have points, but both people are wrong. And so after I make this video, I'm making it in hopes that you heed the words of the Most High God and then go make it good with each other. Never call each other any names. Now, I'm saying this. People like GMS who won't stop worshiping false gods, they're not us. God said they are the nations. People who work our people with rigor and insult and vex us, they not us either. Right? People who will leave us out on the concrete while they put their stuff in the shed, they not us. Something is wrong with the hearts of those people. So people like Yuda Yasharel and people like that, they don't count. God is talking about the people who turn to the Most High God and is willing to do his commandments, statutes, and decrees. But that said, let's get into it, man. Keeping the feast, squashing the beef between Deshaun and Mr. The News. Who's right, who's wrong? Okay, let's get into it. And it ain't Rap the News saying who's right and who's wrong or trying to be the judge. God is the judge. And so we're going to use the scriptures to let God judge. And then you say whether you believe it or not. Because this is how we find out who believes and who don't. Those who are willing to submit to God, they believe. Those who wish to do something else, they don't. So we're going to start with Mr. The News. He states that we cannot keep the feast in captivity, which is wrong. Exodus 12:14. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Scriptures itself is saying it's wrong. This day shall be unto you for a memorial. So that was way back in the day. And you shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations, whether you're in captivity or not. It ain't no clause right there to say exception, captivity. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance. The key word, Mr. The News, is forever. It's forever. So we don't get rid of our Sabbaths and we don't get rid of our feast. We have to keep it forever, whether we're in captivity or not. We cannot get rid of that. So we have to do it the way that we can. If we have the government down our back pointing guns and threatening to put us in jail for life, then we are under duress. Then we can't perform our duties the way we should do it because we have the Egyptians over us lashing our backside and ripping our families apart because of that. So in those cases, under duress, God understands. Let's keep going. Exodus 12:17. And you shall observe the feast and the unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. And you have to look up whatever the meaning of forever is. But God said forever. I didn't find any clauses that says exemption unless you're in this. And I'm going to say this in defense. Not in defense, but just, I guess it would be in defense, because the book contradicts itself. But this is what I believe. If you're going to be obeying one commandment of God, then fucking obey them all. Let's keep going. Exodus 12:24. And you shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever, whether you're in captivity or not. So this is Exodus. Now we got Leviticus. Leviticus 6:22. And the priest and his sons that is anointed in his stead shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto the Lord. It shall be wholly burnt. So they say, who is the Levitical priest? I am. How do you know? I do this naturally. I get the scriptures naturally. It ain't something that I'm doing for some money. It ain't shit. I've been doing this my whole life. I love the word of the Most High God. Love it. I love the truth. God inspires me to do this. I know who I am. And it's a funny thing. I said it in one of my videos. God, in a birthmark, wrote the name Levi on my daughter. It is spelled straight up Levi on her. It's a birthmark. And it actually spells out the word Levi. You know. That's a sign. Oh, it's hocus pocus and hooey pooey. Leviticus 7:34. And don't get mad at me, because you know what? People have been getting mad at me my whole damn life for telling them what's right. A lot of people, you don't want to hear what's right. You know, and I'm not taking a side. If I get on Yuda Yasharel's case, and I get on GMS's case for doing what's wrong, if I believe Deshaun and Mr. News is wrong, I have to say something. Unfortunately, I will be a hypocrite if I get on those guys' case, which is supposed to be Hebrew Israelites, and I don't get on anybody else's case, because these are supposed to be friends of mine, so I don't say nothing. No, we say something to our friends, and this is to save their souls from hellfire. Nothing else. It ain't for ego. It ain't to say, oh, I'm so right and you're so wrong, and basically I'm taking this person's side against this person. No, I'm not taking sides. I'm just going to say what's right on both sides. Leviticus 7:34. For the waved breast and the heaved shoulder have I taken of the children of Israel from off their sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aaron and the priests, and to his sons by statute forever. Aaron's bloodline didn't go away from among the children of Israel. Excuse me. The children, the Levite priests didn't go away. And then this is how God said we shall know in the future who everybody is. You shall know them by their fruit. If I'm preaching the word and people get edified, people believe, and people start following the commandments that's written in the book, then I am who I say I am, because my fruits is showing that. You know, people say, okay, you guided me. Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm in the right worship now. Then I am by nature a son of Levi. Leader definition. So again, we celebrate the feast forever. That is what God is saying. You may read it and get something totally different out of that. But I see the word feast and I see forever. And I see a statue in there. You know, by statue forever. It's a decree. You're not going to get out of that. And so we just do it the best that we can. We acknowledge that God gave these commandments to those children of Israel, and God is not partial. If they had to do it, we have to do it. If he's telling them to put blood over their doors and all this stuff, and sacrifice a lamb in captivity for the Passover, come on. You got to think. Leader. We're going to get into leader. What is a leader? One who leads, the first or most prominent, right? And then it goes down to guide and conduct. They lead and guide conduct. They tell people how to conduct themselves, and they guide people, in this case, to the Most High God. So I am a natural leader, but this is what I know about leading. You cannot be like Yuda Yasharel and command and demand. That is illegal. We as leaders have to be kind kings. We have to sit down and discuss everything. It ain't, it's my land, I have to say so, and so this is what you're going to do, or you got to get the fuck off my land. That is not how we lead. We say the Most High says this, and basically we giving you options. We get in everybody involved, so it ain't me against you and you against us. No, it's all of us. And each person say, okay, here's what the scriptures say. We lead by this book. That's what I'm saying. And here's what the scriptures say. Let's go according to the scriptures. So I'm going to present this. This is happening between Deshaun and brother Mr. The News. And so this is what I'm presenting to them. If they don't want to follow what the Most High God say, then maybe they should not be on the land. You know. And let's keep going. So a leader guides the conduct. Right? He guides conduct. And this conduct, in our case, is to the Most High God. Leader, rulers in the Bible and the Torah. Rule definition. Exercise ultimate power or authority over an area and its people. That's rule. Ruler. Leader definition. The person who leads or commands a group, organization, or country. And then a leader sets the precedence and the order by the decree of the Most High God. And so we're going to get what a leader's responsibility and accountability is, and how a leader should lead to some extent. I didn't put it all in there because I'm not trying to make this long, man. Because it's like I said, when you tell people it's right, they have a problem with you. Genesis 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion. What is dominion? Over the fish in the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over the whole earth. No one can take that away once God decree, and God don't change. Malachi 3:6. Right? He didn't give us a king, but we do have rulers and leaders. We do, according to Scripture. King David was our king. Genesis, and if you don't have rulers and leaders, you have chaos. Straight up. Anybody with sense knows that. Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception in sorrow. Thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall do what? Rule over you. Not in captivity. No, in captivity. He gonna rule over you. He never stopped being your man. He never stopped being your leader. He never stopped exercising authority. He first has the dominion because God made him first, and he made him more powerful than you, so that you could respect his power and his dominion. But they don't respect that. You know, a lot of these black women, they say straight up, and we know what they say, ain't no man, right? No man ain't gone, right? And sometimes when us men, we have those type of women, we make these little silly ass rules like nobody can tell nobody nothing to do. Is that your woman talking? Or is that you talking? And I'm not making a reference to Mr. The News. I don't know his relationship. I don't know his woman. I'm saying what black women do in general. And then, like God said in the book, our women and our children become our oppressors. And this is what I'm making reference to. They start helping the oppressors, you know, our enemies. They start oppressing us from the inside, and we oppress from the outside. You know, black women is killing and getting black men killed right now, you know, because they want dominion. But in all, God did not give the woman dominion over the man. That's backwards and that's out of order. And so a lot of people are out of order. So when you say order, they don't like that, because there might be a woman right now ruling her household. Her husband's a punk, and basically, she mad at me now for saying this. She used to be an avid listener. Now she didn't got mad because I read this verse. But I didn't say it, woman. God said it. Your husband shall do what? Rule over you. It's right there in black and white. 1 Timothy 3:4. And this separates the wolves from the sheep. Right? This separates the sheep from the goats. 1 Timothy 3:4. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. So not only do you have to rule your wife, but you have to rule your children. And if they can't abide by the rules, then they have to go, because they choosing to be heathen. Right? And these rules, I say it right in my own household. My wives and kids, I can say it right in front of them. I will say, you are not in charge. You do not assert any authority. I'm not going to let them assert authority over me. I make the rules, but I'm a kind king. Meaning that I make the rules according to the Most High God of Israel, and we're going to rule according to this book. That way, we all just obeying the laws of the Most High God, and we should all be good with that. If you ain't good, then you ain't good with God. It don't have nothing to do with me. So I take myself out of the power seat. And so anybody ruling a land, you cannot be in the power seat. The only power that we have is the Most High God. So we putting everything in a context. Let's keep going. 1 Peter 3:1. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husband. So from the Old Testament to the New Testament, it's telling a wife to be what? In subjection. My wife, my mother, all my aunties, my friends' wives. Yeah, ain't no nigga gonna tell me shit. They going to hell. Let hell and the fire tell you some shit when you feel for it. I'm just saying, and until they get themselves under subjection. And just like I said, if I'm there, you're gonna be under subjection. We gonna bump heads like hell. And I said, anybody who is a Gentile and defiant, we ain't gonna get along. Whether it's my wife, whether it's my mother, my sister, anybody else, your women, we ain't getting along. We are going to go by the Most High's book, or we gonna be at war. And I don't give a damn for the war. We gonna be straight up at war, and I have been in war, for a mighty long time. How you think I got this good at talking and dealing with people? I've been through many wars, starting at home. Leviticus 25:42. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondsmen. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but you shall fear thy God. So now, these men over here, says Deuteronomy, is not working, and they good for nothing, and they dead weight. You can't rule over them with rigor, even though it drives you crazy because you need things done and people ain't doing it. Or they may not be doing it to your standards. I go through that as a leader. I'll be like, damn, I wish they get their ass up and get this shit done. And then, we find ourselves having to try to be nice. Like, look, y'all, damn, I don't like a dirty house. I don't like a dirty kitchen. I don't like dirty bathrooms, especially, please keep this shit clean. Can y'all just take a little moment out? It's just a small little space. All of y'all can get together and hustle that shit out, and then go about your damn business. But please, we have to set up things where, like, okay, if you use a dish, you fucking wash a dish. Ain't nobody gonna be your fucking slave. So don't start messing up shit and you got a whole house full of dishes and one man or one woman gotta bust them motherfuckers. Don't nobody really like busting, so it's too much. You know what I mean? So we can't do that to ourselves. And we shall not rule with rigor. Nigga, you getting up early like Pastor Dow does, and they better be out there working, and no, that's rigor. That is illegal what he's doing. He is a fucking slave master. cannot do what he's doing. You know, you got to give people a choice. Everybody has free will. Free will get you sent to hell. The only will that we do is the Most High God's will. Anybody doing any other will besides the Most High God's will is going to hell. Free will is like a ticket to the fire, and it is. You got an option to do good or you got an option to do evil. Free will is evil. If God said do his will, then you just do his will. Leviticus 25:46. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, you shall not rule one another, or rule one over another with rigor. You can rule, but you cannot do it with rigor. You have to go by the precepts of the book. You can't say, this is my rule. No, we don't have rules like that. There's only one commander in chief, and that's the Most High God. And so, but you can, as a lawgiver, give orders. And just like I said, somebody has to put things in order, or else we have chaos and anarchy, and people do not understand limitations. You know, that's why I said have your children under subjection, and your wife, so that everybody has an order and a role. Esther 1:22, and this would happen when you don't put roles and order in there. You make homosexuals, because no gender know what they place is. If the gender see the woman in control and the man not in control, you will make a homosexual out of your boy, and you'll make a dyke out of your daughter. Facts. That is facts. Esther 1:22, for he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house. So if you own in the land, it's your own house, then you rule that house. You are the leader. Whether you like leaders or you don't like leaders, that's what a ruler is. He's a leader. But we're ruling by the book, meaning that the Most High is just ruling. And so all the people on the land, if you're on someone's land, you make them, the leaders, accountable by the book. You are not following the book. This is what the book says. And as you see, what I'm doing right now, I'm going 100% by the book. I didn't say you have to agree with me, but we're going by the book to the best of our ability. Proverbs 12:24, the hand of the diligent shall bear rule. Right? You diligent, you will be the leader. Let's keep going. Romans 12:8, for he that exhorteth, or exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. Easy going. He that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy and cheerfulness. So you have to be a kind king. The reason why people don't want you to rule over them, because nobody wants you to rule over them with rigor. Nobody want to be your slave. Nobody want to have the oppression of being forced to do something. You cannot force people in our religion. There is no force. There's no rigor. There's no slave drive in here. We treat our people kind. Let's keep going. Wine, emotions, and controlling one's temper. So I hear Deshaun talking about ruling and this and that and that, but I hear Mr. New saying, well, Deshaun drinks wine and everything else. Just like with ruling, people, and I make sure I put a lot of verses on there, so that you can, and I put the definitions and everything else, so we can get a great understanding that somebody has to be in charge. It's a great understanding. You don't have to like it, but it is what it is. But wine, emotions, and controlling one's temper. I can't even get to emotions and controlling your temper because it's just too much. The video gonna be an hour and something long, you know. So we just deal with the wine, but we are not. Emotions is not our religion. Emotions is a demon inside of you. Emotions is a demon inside of you. And I say that one more again. Emotions is a demon inside of you. All that anger and ill will and resentment and animosity, and I ain't dealing with you no more, and get the fuck off my land, that's a demon. When you are in leadership, no one leaves and no one is asked to leave. No one leaves and no one is asked to leave. We are not divided amongst ourselves. We work that out by the book. And we don't even leave the conversation until we make resolve and peace with each other. So it has to be peaceful and it has to be resolved with our people. And this is how God wants us to treat our people. He wants us to bless our people. If God said our people was blessed, then why are you treating them like shit? You don't treat them like shit. And I'm not trying to treat you like shit either. Just like I said, when you tell people things they don't want to hear or goes contrary to what they have believed, a lot of our people is not humble. They arrogant. You tell me, I'm just gonna bow down and say, hey, look, it does say that, right? You know, you can just get like Sakari and all these other people. Well, in the Strong Concordance, it says fuck the Strong Concordance. God didn't make the Strong Concordance. I'm reading it direct, the best that I can right here, and so are you. That's why I'm giving you the verses. We don't drink fucking liquor. We don't drink fucking liquor. The book contradicts itself. Liquor does nothing. I watched my father, you know, my real father. I was raised by my stepfather, but I used to pass down the street and see my father drunk or staggering or loaded. We don't do drugs. We don't do liquor. And I looked at him and I said, I ain't never be like him. I'm never gonna be like him. You know, I'm not gonna let drugs, liquor, and women rule over me, because now you're an addict, right? And a slave. I'm not going to be a slave and an addict to no one. But if God put it like this and said, the wife will rule over you, then I have no choice but to obey her. Everybody got to understand this. But he didn't say that. He said the man shall rule over you. Wine, emotions, and controlling one's temper. We don't get angry. Anger is of Satan. No one's gonna. You got on earth as it is in heaven. You're gonna be up there liquored up. You're gonna be up there smoking on a blunt. I doubt that, because that's called escape. People who can't deal with reality use vices. The reality and the truth is the Most High God. He's the reality and the truth. And he is. Read your book long enough, you'll find out. Right? Let's keep going into it. So I'm going to say this before I start with all of this. There are verses that contradict this, but this is right. We rule our people kindly. We give them options. You cannot take away people's free will or options. For all the leaders out there, if they can't abide by the rules of the land, and those rules got to be set out there prior. It has to be a big old billboard with all the rules where everybody can see, and then they can make a choice of whether they want to live on this land or not. Everybody got to understand that. Because if you saw the rules and then you moved in and all of a sudden you start not abiding by those rules, but you agree to those rules, all contracts are binding. To move on the land and you saw the rules, that's a contract. And that's how we do things, by contracts. All contracts are binding. Anybody who make a contract with the devil is a binding. You're going to do a lick in hell. Okay, let's keep going. So we're talking about liquor now. And I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, for many years, no to liquor. So I'm going to give you a lot of verses. Leviticus 10:9, do not drink wine nor strong drink. Do not. Everybody know, what is a DUI? What's a drunk? You know, everybody said drunk ain't shit. You know, you lose all dignity and respect and everything else. What's a drunk? And it's coming from what? Liquor and wine, right? It messes up your kidney and it messes up your liver. And it also called, I think it's deuterium tremors or something like that. It's back of your brain after you done drunk so long. It makes you start talking loud for no damn reason. You done messed up your brain with that liquor. So it's fucking hell to the no with that shit. Especially the liquor that they making at the store. Not at the store, the store. Leviticus 10:9, do not drink wine nor strong drink. Thou nor thy sons with thee. When you go into the tabernacle of the congregation, your land and your house becomes the tabernacle of the congregation, and your body becomes the temple of God. And you don't defile your body with strong drink and wine, lest you die. It shall be a statute forever. It shall be what? Just like obeying the commandments and keeping the feast days and stuff like that, keeping the Sabbath, it is a statute forever throughout your generations. It started out, watch. Don't drink strong wine nor strong drink. That is a statute forever, right? Lest you die. We get that? I don't really have to read no more, right? Because these are the dietary laws now. You say, okay, I'm obeying the dietary laws. Don't put strong drink and liquor, 40 ounce and all that into your system. Don't. We got Pastor Dow doing it and all these other people. And I'm not going against you. This is for you. I'm going to read it again. Don't drink wine nor strong drink. Everybody knows that it causes nothing but trouble. Right? It shall be a statute forever. And now you're mad. This is how I make the most enemies right here. GMS. God said, serve and worship him only. And don't mention the name of other gods. Now I made a lot of enemies. Because they idol worshipers. I say, okay, we got to keep the feast days forever because God said it. Now I made enemies because they don't want to keep the feast days. Now I'm saying don't drink liquor. Now I make enemies because you love liquor. I used to like it too. But ain't that clear? Do not drink wine nor strong drink. It shall be a statute forever. Right? And I'm telling you what the tabernacle of the congregation is. It is your own household now until we get back into our land. And it is your body, your temple. You or your sons, y'all don't drink liquor. Let's keep going. Number 6:1. And then the rest is just for fun. And not for fun, but for actually edification, meaning that it ain't really, it's serious. It's the first. And well, all of it is serious. I'm just saying I'm just doing it to say, okay, God is saying it a lot. Let me say it like that. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either a man or a woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord, when he said, I belong to the Most High God, he shall separate himself from wine then. If you belong to God and you loving God with all your heart, mind, and soul while you drinking liquor and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar or wine, or vinegar or strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried raisins. Once you do a vow and say, I belong to the Most High God, then you separate yourself from liquor. Straight up. And just like I said, we got verses that contradict it. It says, give strong drink to those who are sick at heart, and they gonna kill their damn self from depression. Right? And then what it says, drink water no longer, but drink wine. What's gonna happen when you stop drinking water and drink wine and obey that verse? We know it's dumb. And we know that ain't of the Most High God who's saying separate yourself. If you loving me with all your heart, mind, you ain't addicted to shit. Let's keep going. Judges 13:4. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not anything unclean. Keep your temples clean. You are an offering to the Most High God now. And when he come, he wants you without blemish. How you gonna come and you reek of liquor? Samuel 1:14. Eli said unto her, how long would you be a damn drunk? Put away the wine from you. Why is the prophet saying it? It ain't just one prophet. It's all of them. Proverbs, wine is a mocker. It make a buffoon out of your ass. Strong drink is raging. It make you have a bad temper and no patience. And whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. And you just sit there in the middle of the damn floor and piss. You don't care who see you. You drunk. Proverbs 21:17. He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich. And that's in the Lord. Because we know we ain't supposed to be rich any damn way. Isaiah 5:11. Woe unto them. Now it's a woe there, right? But it was a do not for forever in the beginning, right? Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue into the night, till wine is inflamed in their ass, they reeking the liquor. And then don't y'all hate that smell when you walking past them and you can smell all that liquor coming through their pores? It is straight filthy and nasty. You know you want to clean it out of your damn mind. Isaiah 5:22. Woe, another woe. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink. You strong and you want to drink something strong. You deserve a Mike's Hard Lemonade, don't you? Dumbasses. And just like I said, you know, I don't drink. I made a vow not to drink no more. And that was a long time ago, like over 20 years ago. Well, almost 20 years. It's been 19 years. I made a vow not to drink. Isaiah 21:8. Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that overcome with wine. We don't use shit that we could be addicted to. The only thing we're going to be addicted to is the Most High God. All our love, all our mind, all our soul is for Him. If you craving wine, then some of that love is for that liquor, and you know it. Isaiah 28:7. But they also have erred through wine and through strong drink, erred, and are out of the way. The priests and the prophets have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up with wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. Jeremiah 23:9. My heart within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whose wine has overcome him. You addicted to it because of the Lord and because of the words of His holiness. Hosea 4:11. Whoredom and wine, a new wine, take away your heart, man. All right? It take away the kindness and make you mean. Joel 1:5. Awake, you drunkards, and weep, and howl, all you drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your damn mouth. You can't do it no more. Leviticus told you. Forever, right? And so, again, emotions is not your damn religion. Getting angry and resolving things through angry and fighting is not your damn religion. We do not fight Israelites. The Gentiles are commanded to go to war with each other. Joel 3. Proclaim this among the Gentiles. Prepare for war. And they've been preparing for a long, mighty long time. They got all their rockets and missiles and shit just to annihilate each other. Right? And they are the ones who destroy the earth. Right? So that ain't us. What God wants us to do? Love your brother. Watch for the one He said that don't love your brother. So I'm telling you, Brother Deshaun, and I'm telling you, Brother Mr. The News, you can disagree with these verses. I put enough of these verses on here so that you should agree with the Lord. I'm not asking nobody to agree with me. Everybody in here, if do a video to say, this is why I disagree with all of this from the Most High God. And then let the people come and comment on your video, and tell you what their opinions is. Because sometimes when you're an addict to something or you resistant to the Most High God, you don't need to make judgments on your own. You need to hear somebody else's opinion then when you have a weakness, when you've been misguided. You need somebody's opinion who knows the scriptures. So again, I'll go right back up to the top. The video is to squash the beef between Deshaun and Mr. The News. I'm going to tell you, Deshaun and Mr. The News, I have nothing to do with this. The Spirit of the Most High God is telling me to do this, and I have many lectures to do about many other things. I was deciding which one I want to do. But since we're so close to the end, and God is saying you guys are not getting into heaven until y'all make it good with each other, you're going to obey him. You're going to be at peace or you ain't getting in. So if we're going to be at peace and rest in our country, he didn't say we was going to be at war and at variance and strife and emulation and contention. It ain't happening. You ain't going to get into the kingdom until you stop being contentious with each other. Love your brother like you love yourself. Want for your brother what you want for yourself. As you want men to treat you, and this is Matthew 7:1. This is how you treat them in Matthew 7, I mean. Right? That's how you treat people. Don't work your brother with rigor. You treat your brother like a brother. You be kind to them. You have to give the people options. You know, nobody want to move to a land where somebody's cracking a whip over their ass and forcing them to do shit. That's slavery. We want to move to a land where you have the option. But in those options, just like I said, if you're going to start a land up, and I'm just telling you this from experience, have your rules and regulations already out and say, this is the rules of this house. I'm the man, and God told the man to rule over his own household. Right? Exactly. So we know what's in the book. And then, just like I said, the statutes and the feasts is an ordinance forever, and it says it too many damn times, right? And we know the definition of leader and stuff like that is the one who guides the people's conduct, and we got that conduct by the book. That's a leader. So no one is just to say, these are my personal rules. No, we don't have no personal rules. Then you commander-in-chief. Only God is commander-in-chief. And so I'm just trying to put it in some order so y'all can get along. I got my house under subjection to the best of my ability. And anybody who don't obey me, they have to pay the Most High God on that day. And that's how I do things. You know, and so get your house under subjection. Don't try to get weak people you can easily dominate around, you know. You know, I deal with strong-minded people and it strengthens you. Right? Weak people make you weaker. You know. Steel sharpens steel, right? So anyway, this is Rap the News. I would love for you guys to do a video or something to make peace with each other. You know, whether you agree with me or not, you have to make peace with each other. You ain't getting in the kingdom. If y'all want me to do a video on that, I will. This is Rap the News.